Hello, YouTube. Welcome in. We are going to be hanging out with Casual Geographic, and they've got some beef apparently with pandas, specifically red pandas, everyone's favorite. I know that I really like red pandas. Star really likes red pandas. I know a few VTubers who are based on red pandas. I'm very concerned. I like his content. Me too. That's why I wanted to watch it with you guys. So yeah, if you guys haven't been watching Casual Geographic, he goes into great detail about how terrifying the animal world is, while also doing some great things with the animal world. Like, I believe he even raised and went and helped at a elephant sanctuary a few years back. It was really cool. So yeah, we'll check this guy out today. Anyway, sit back, relax, and let's get to watching. You know the video is going to be good when it starts out with that kind of music.
Red pandas are the paralysis demon of depression, and the first thing it sees after hearing boss music. The red panda is a cute...
It's the... Okay, what does he mean by that? It's the paralysis demon of the depressed. And it's the first thing it sees? What?
Cutest thing alive that will take the lives of other animals. We'll get into that. Red pandas are so cute that...
Oh yeah, they're a predatory type animal. Of course they are. Oh, video is quiet? My bad. Here, let's back that up. We'll just restart that. Well.
Red pandas are the paralysis demon of depression, and the first thing it sees after hearing boss music. The red panda is the cutest thing...
Oh, the first thing it sees after hearing boss music. Oh. Oh. Wait, what?
Alive that will take the lives of other animals. We'll get into that. Red pandas are so cute that off instinct I almost don't trust them. They're built like a deliberate distraction from what? What? Give them a brief...
Yeah, exactly. You look like they're friend-shaped. They are perfectly friend-shaped. They are perfectly... They're like me. They're a cute, cuddly little critter that everyone just loves on first contact and meeting, and then it turns out, oh, they must be little assholes, apparently. That's my assumption. I think that's where he's going with this. But I can't see this cute little face being anything but wonderful.
And he looks like he's gonna sell me awful financially crippling insurance, and for the last time, I am absolutely on board. The red panda is so adorable.
For the last time, I am absolutely on board.
It's almost too good to be true, and like healthcare and insurance payouts, they actually are. This animal is not what you think it is. The internet will have you believing it's a wholesome, ginger, chunkus, ooh, raccoon, and panda adjacent, but I know the truth, and I
ooh, panda adjacent.
will be exposing them. But first, this video was sponsored by absolutely no one. Except my personal biases, let's get it. First of all,
fair enough then.
The red panda is the biggest victim of cloutjacking in nature. This is actually the original panda. Let me explain. The red panda was first described in 1825 by zoologist Frédéric Cuvier, who called it the cutest, most beautiful animal he'd...
The scientific literature reflects the red panda's appeal. Frédéric Cuvier, who published the first Western scientific description of the animal in 1825, deemed it quite the most handsome mammal in existence. One of the foremost modern authorities, Angela Gladstone, in a book she edited about red panda biology, described the animal as flamboyantly clad in chestnut, chocolate, and cream, and called it a creature of great beauty and charm. Yeah, everyone's been hyping this little thing up.
Ever seen, and even gave it the scientific name Alurus fulgens, which literally means fire cat, and they earned the panda name from the Nepali word bonya, meaning bamboo eater. Sound familiar? Well, the obese, bamboo-eating bean chair of a bear was first described in 1869 by Pierre Armand David. They inherited the panda name because folks saw me bamboo and were like, damn, him too, and assumed the two bonyas were related. So yeah, this panda was actually...
Oh. They looked at these two and were like, oh, they both eat bamboo. They must be related. You know what? Valid.
Actually named after that panda, almost 50 years after the fact. And somehow, even with half a century handicap, the second panda managed to lap the premier panda in popularity, so much that the OP, original panda, is now called the lesser panda. Now there is an
Oh. Interesting. I never actually even heard about that, but no, makes sense.
argument that lesser just refers to size, which is why the giant panda gets body shamed in its own name. But I already don't appreciate gibbons being clocked as lesser apes, much less a commie raccoon being a lesser anything. But it's actually worse for the red panda, cause these two pandas aren't related. Giant pandas are bears, and people should look up panda attacks to remember that. Red pandas are...
Oh. The big pandas breaking bamboo just reminded me. They make that effort face only because they see the human zookeepers do that, apparently. That's funny. Because it doesn't take them any effort to actually break it. Yeah, I can believe that. I mean, look at them. They're massive. Not these guys, the other ones.
Well, we'll get to that, but they're not bears. They're not even remotely related. Which means the DreamWorks jockey borrowed the name from an animal it's not even related to 50 years after, stole its identity, and left it with lesser. So now, not only does Google acknowledge the biracial bear first when you look up panda, even people that try standing up for the original accidentally overcorrect by saying, you know, red pandas aren't actually pandas. Except they are. They are the ponyas. They came first.
Who came first, the red panda or the white panda? The red panda.
I can't think of another animal that's had that happen to it. Except maybe penguins. Penguins got their name from looking like a bird they're not even related to, but at least the great auk is extinct. Red pandas are still here, albeit they're endangered. Which is actually another issue I have, because giant pandas would end up becoming the poster child of endangered species, and would even be immortalized as a World Wildlife Fund logo.
God, that thing looked so dumb there. Like, that was so bad. That was so bad. He forgot how to animal altogether there. Red pandas are so unbelievably cute. Yes, they are. Apparently there's a problem with that, though.
And you can't even point to pretty privilege. Red pandas are obscenely pretty. But when you save a non-profit money on printing fees by being black and white, you get the nod as the logo, and that's not even a joke. The price...
Yeah, it's a lot easier to make a logo designed for pandas than it is for red pandas.
price of color printing got the red panda passed over. They probably wouldn't have gotten the credit anyway, because if you know this logo, you know the company Firefox, and the Firefox mascot was based on a red panda. As adorable as
It was? I thought it was based on a fox. But then again, he just said not too long ago that its legitimate name is Firefox, right? Fire
they
Panda,
are,
yeah.
red pandas have been shoved to the shadows.
I think that's what he said, right? 317, whereabouts was it? Like... Editor free will get it for you.
What if I told you this all could have, and honestly should have, been avoided? Because remember, I said the Reds were first described in 1820.
Firecat, that's it. Thank you. Editor free, take a day off.
25 by Cuvier. Except, not really. It was actually General Thomas Hardwick who's credited with introducing the fire panda to the Western world, and he even did a presentation at the Linnean Society in London with what's considered the first ever red panda painting in Europe in 1821. Like Cuvier, Hardwick also wrote about them, except in his report, he didn't call it a panda. He called it a wah, based on...
A wah? He called it a wah? Are they orcs?
Off their call. But despite writing the report in 1821, Hardwick's work wasn't published until 1827. With Cuvier's work out 2 years earlier, he got the naming rights, and Red Panda stuck. If Thomas could have just locked in a little earlier, we'd be calling this a wah or a chihuahua, and who knows what butterfly effect follows.
What would that turn my Minzy into, who's a chihuahua? Quack, quack.
So yeah, red pandas got shafted, and as you can tell, I'm fed up for them. But being compared to a bear, retconned as a raccoon, firefox, and firecat begs the question, if it's none of these, what even is a red panda?
That's a question.
Alright, let's do this one last time. With mammals, there's two classes of carnivores, feliform and caniform, team cat and team dog. I'm sure you've heard this all before. And
Really?
caniformia...
Wait, what?
...is made up of dogs. Of all kinds, including steroid solo dogs, sea dogs, stink dogs, shiesty dogs, and dogs with a Napoleon complex.
So... Really? There's more to carnivores than just cats and dogs. Yeah, but that's interesting. I'm going to have to look into this a little bit more. Carnivore. So wait, let's back that up.
Let's do this one last time. With mammals, there's two classes of carnivores, feliform and caniform.
Okay, so with mammals specifically, so that's not including fish, reptiles, and all that. It's just in the mammal classification, we have feline-based carnivores and dog-based carnivores. They're not specifically dogs and cats, but they are very related, or they have the same kind of like hunting and working style, I guess.
Team cat and team dog. I'm sure you've heard this all before. And caniformia is made up of dogs of all kinds, including steroid solo dogs, sea dogs, stink dogs, shiesty dogs, and dogs with a Napoleon complex.
So, this is the first time I'm hearing about this, honestly. He said, I'm sure you all heard about this before, and me being over here like, huh? That strictly hunt for food can be sorted into cat-like or dog-like, I guess. I guess so. Because, yeah, if you look at these six over here and these six, like, they do have very similar, like, setups to each other, right? Like, hyenas are very... hyenas feel more like they'd be canine, but I guess they fit in the feline section? I'm going to have to look into this. Order Carnivora. I'm bookmarking that for a future date.
It was the bear family of Ursidae and the raccoon family of Procyon that split custody, as early scientists classified the red panda as part of one or the other. But DNA research determined that the wa was more like a what and was placed in its own family of Aluridae, of which it's the only surviving
the wa family
member. However, further DNA studies as early as 20 years ago put the red panda under the Mustelidoidea superfamily umbrella. If that's confusing, mustelids are the family of miniature caniform crashouts and weasel rage we all know and love. Hey look, that's Stoffel.
It's the little badgers.
Mustelidoidea is a superfamily that holds the mustelids, skunks, raccoons, raccoon equivalents, and now the red panda. So while their closest cousins are these guys, the red panda is more like a living fossil that diverged from the other caniforms pretty early on. So it's more like they're their own thing. And while the ones we know are the last man standing, the red panda party used to be packed. For example, Samosaion bataleri was an alurid about the size of a cougar that would have had jaws on the level of a hyena.
Oh my god. If you guys want any only because I love hyenas. Hyenas are probably one of my favorite animals. If you guys didn't know, bite strength of a hyena. The hyena has an 1,100 pound bite strength. Now let's verse that to a lion. A lion's bite is estimated between 650 and 1,000 pounds per square inch, versus the hyena, which is 1,100. Hyenas have a stronger bite strength than a freaking lion.
Would have been an American problem. But today, we're left with a much cuter version, which actually has two species, the Chinese and the Himalayan red panda. And if you can't tell them apart, neither could science. Until like 2020, because that's when it was widely accepted that these are two separate species. But honestly, I probably shouldn't be so hard on scientists for confusing.
One is meant for crushing and one is meant for shredding. True. Like, hyenas, they're scavenger type creatures, so they have to, like, they're needing to get all the nutrition right from the bones, and, you know, they're killing things by crushing, whereas the lions, they don't use their teeth specifically for actually killing. They do use them in order to, like, choke out the animal, sure, but their main job is, like, clawing, shredding, and tearing them up. So yeah, it is very different, but it's still interesting to note that hyenas have the stronger bite.
Using them with bears. It's not like the Reds made it easy. Obviously, both bonyas are absolute slores for bamboo, but what was really confusing was both managed to evolve the same false thumb, a pseudo thumb whose purpose is to help them grip bamboo. Reminder, they're not related, but with the same thumb emerging, same tests, same answers means evolution's converging. But there is one thing they don't have in common. Why are red pandas red while the bigger mammals monochrome? Well, with the giant variety, the pandas are actually the color of compromise. It's believed they have white fur to blend into the snowy climate, black
makes
limbs
sense.
to match the shade, black ears to intimidate predators and look like a threat, but black eye spots to help individuals recognize each other. That's literal face ID. And science says having an awful diet is why. Because bamboo gives them so little, they'll never be able to store enough fat to hibernate. And with them being constantly on the move to look for food, they can't molt their fur fast enough to match their environment. That's why I said compromise. It's the best nature could do. Red pandas are like...
Yeah, it makes sense. Because, yeah, I believe I heard somewhere before that pandas literally have to be migrating all the entire way around their habitats in order to get different forms of bamboo in order to be able to feed their metabolism the specific nutrients that they need in order to function. So, like, they need to go up to the top of the mountain in order to get more zinc into their diet. They need to go to the bottom of the mountain in order to get more fiber into their diet and more protein on the other side of the river, that sort of thing. So that's why they're constantly doing that, and why they're supposed to be carnivores, goddammit. Why are they built like this?
The pretty privileged sloths of Asia, because they spend 90% of their lives in the trees and they spend most of that sleeping. Go see one in a zoo and you'll see what I mean.
Yep.
Yeah, this was worth the car ride, the train ride, the path train ride, and the price of admission. Me.
Yep. When Star and I went to a zoo once, they actually specifically had the enclosure for the panda without like an enclosed enclosure like this, so that when it's asleep, it's at least visible. Pandas are so far behind their bulking goals, it's almost impossible to recover. Yep. And that's by birth.
Oh, never mind.
Hey, there he is. It was not, however, worth the parking ticket I got. Oh no.
Red white fur means the wah disappears in fir trees covered by reddish moss and white lichen. But of course, the most famous thing these two have in common is their choice of diet. They fully committed to lives as bamboo sinks, so much that the giant bonya actually lost their ability to taste meat. You might catch a bear trying a dead wildebeest or murking a peacock, but virtually all their protein comes from bamboo. It's even been found that giant pandas have a sweet tooth, with them preferring natural sugars over water. Red pandas move to
that's impressive. That's impressive that they just can't even taste like protein, like meat. They can't even taste it. That's interesting. Oh my god, sitting around the table, it's like the dog's playing poker. It's true.
a similar beat of being mostly for bamboo. They'll also mix it up with fruits, nuts, blossoms, the occasional egg, birds, mice.
Yeah.
I told you. But red pandas also have a
Nature, baby.
sweet tooth, and it's believed they're the only non-primate mammal able to taste artificial sweeteners, with the was showing a preference for fake sugar like sucralose and aspartame, which makes the sugar fox the only mammal without thumbs that can appreciate NutraSweet and Splenda. The last thing they have in common might not seem that special, but it is to me. Red pandas being pregnant for an average of 130 days might not seem like a lot, until you realize cats their size carry kittens for just over 60. And it's because, like giant pandas, red pandas experience delayed implantation, which basically means they can procrastinate pregnancy by having the fertilized embryo just float around before implanting. It means red pandas can put pregnancy on pause and wait till the best possible condition to have kids.
Damn, that's kind of helpful. Please do not give them fake sweeteners. I'm sure it's fine. I think there is an episode of Apothecary Diaries about the type of taste, that type of taste thing. Oh, interesting.
Sometimes it takes 90 days, sometimes over 5 months. Both pandas can do this, but to be fair, so can a lot of mammals, like over 100. Red pandas have anywhere from 1 to 4 cubs, each the size of a stick of butter, and each managing to be cuter than the original. They shadow Mama Bonya for about a year, learning everything about how to panda. But by far, the absolute cutest thing about them is that at about 6 weeks, the ginger cubs reach what has scientifically been referred to as the crackhead phase. Many animals use play.
Well, most animals have like their witching hours. Like I'm sure you've seen your cat at home go absolutely mental, right? I'm assuming similar to this?
To sharpen the skills they'll need later in life, and precocious pandas will play with and pounce on anything. Often their parents in a period that has been called the popcorn phase. It's so sweet.
The popcorn phase.
I think I have diabetes. I don't care what y'all think or what it costs. I'll tank any consequences to have this in my house. Is what I would say if I didn't know the truth. Red pandas are not what you think they are, if not
Okay, we're finally getting into this. Okay, he's been saying this for a while. He's been alluding to this. Honestly, this is what you're supposed to do for YouTube stuff. You're supposed to really push that bit down the line further and further to force people to sit through your bullshit until you finally get to the point. And honestly, I liked it. It got some good facts, but now he teased at a little bit with the whole, like, oh, they kill mice and stuff like that. Well, yeah, they're a predatory type creature, so are bears. Like, we even saw a bear murking a peacock earlier. And wasn't he talking about when the babies reach that rambunctious phase of development, not these zoomy hours? Yeah, I figured that out after the fact, but and I mean, even kids are like that. I believe we call that in humans terms the terrible twos.
And why friend-shaped? How about I show you what adopting a ponya would do to your life? Because you'd end up hating both. The day you brought one home, you'd notice a major difference between a fire cat and an actual cat. As much as cats would hate to admit it, cats are social animals, and actually
okay, it is sucking on his ear. That is so cute. Just yum 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 yum. Oh, he's talking about like when people bring red pandas in as pets. Yeah, never bring a freaking wild animal type creature in as a pet. Cats and dogs are good as pets. Some birds are good as pets. Red pandas are not good as pets. Also, hi, Vanti. How's it going? It's also good structure for arguments. True.
appreciate affection. Red pandas are solitary and only really tolerate their own kind when they're making or raising babies. And as zookeepers will tell you, unless you're carrying food, a living plush toy will barely acknowledge you. In fact, probably avoid you. The sick joke is, the animal that's friend-shaped is not friendly at all. And they also really hate being picked up. That's basically a threat. And while the red panda's first response to being threatened is adorable, their second choice is a lot less cute. The same semi-retractable claws for gripping trees would deliver one hell of an attitude adjustment the first time you try to play them for a pet. And the same jaws for crushing bamboo would easily make your hand see-through. Your house is their prison.
Yeah, I can believe that. I mean, this all makes sense. Like, you don't mess around with wild animals. And a red panda, a wild cat, a wild dog, those are wild animals. A domestic dog is not a wild animal anymore. It had all of its, wildness kind of bred out of it. However, you can still make a domestic dog wild. I think bird pets, in my opinion, it takes a special person with patience to have one. True, there are noisy little shits, those ones. I like birds, though. I don't want one, but I like birds. But yeah, no, this makes sense. Obviously, don't get a red panda as a pet. That's stupid.
Solitary confinement is their mission, and they'll maul the goodwill out of you. And as is the case with a lot of wild animals, human-raised red pandas are way more aggressive and trigger-happy with their temper. Also, their diet would bankrupt you, but it's the consequences of what they eat that would really be a problem. The red panda's poor diet means they can't digest most of it, so not only do they have to eat gluttonous amounts, what that means is red pandas can poop out their own body weight in waste in a week and can drop
oh no.
bamboo-laden bowel bombs up to 40 times a day. Now add that constantly scent marked with urine and your house would smell like a dog park in August. Almost forgot, red pandas sleep up to 17 hours a day, but are crepuscular, so the only times the panda would panda is when you're either getting ready to or trying to sleep. So you'd be dead broke, sleep deprived up to your collar and caca and probably missing several fingers and possibly an eye. Not to mention, the rogue panda that's built for the cold and high altitude would lose its mind in your house, and their susceptibility to disease is something you'd never emotionally or financially recover from. But it probably wouldn't even get that far, because the other thing about bringing red pandas into your house, they will find a way out. That's a promise.
Wah free. Escape. Like the people who get foxes as pets just because they are cute, then regret it. Yeah, exactly. Never get something as a pet just because you think it's cute. Okay? That is just how pet owner 101. Just because it's cute and adorable doesn't mean it's a good pet at that moment. It doesn't mean it's a good pet ever. Doesn't mean it's a good pet for you. Doesn't mean that you should have one. It just means that thing's cute. Appreciate the cute from a distance. Do your research. Watch this video.
Orangutans are definitely the animal that stresses out enclosure engineers the most, but a red-faced ringtail is a close second. The rabbit hole of red pandas breaking out is hilariously extensive, and also why you could not keep these bastards in Planet Zoo. I challenge you to Google red panda escapes, click news, and marvel at how many times a literal Harry Houdini has humbled humanity. I'm gonna go through some of my favorites. The first documented red panda escape was in 1978 in the Rotterdam Zoo, aka Die Gaarde Blijdorp in Netherlands, and it created a phenomenon.
That is a name. That is a name. Get a pet rock that has a red panda painted on it. You know what? That sounds like a good idea. That sounds like a great idea. Harry Whodunit.
Known as the red panda effect. Because even though the red panda was found just tragically not alive, the zoo still received hundreds of calls and sightings claiming to have seen it, even a year after he had died. The red panda effect is now synonymous with a psychological phenomenon where people tend to see exactly what they're looking for, even when it's not really there, and even provoke commentary on how the brain tends to fill in gaps in perception and can even alter that perception. Either that or Big Panda gaslit the hell out of the Dutch. In 2007, Yin the red panda made people wait 2 hours on the day of her debut before showing herself, and after taking a brief look around, said nah and immediately escaped. Keepers responded
And immediately got the hell out of there. Although, let's be perfectly honest,
showing herself.
They were
And after
asking
taking
for
a brief look around, said nah and immediately escaped.
how did they not expect it to escape? How did they not? The branch is literally poking right out of the enclosure. It's a tree climbing creature. Come on now.
Keepers responded by adding electrical wiring around her enclosure, and that same month, she bypassed that wiring by using overhanging tree branches and got out again. But she
Stop putting overhanging trees. I know it looks pretty, but it's a good way for the creature to just be like, I'm out.
never actually left the zoo. She climbed 30 feet up a tree and made the zoo director climb after her to get her. 10 years later, Sunny the red panda
Ah, what a brilliant little shit.
escaped, except this time, she fully left the zoo premises and was never seen again, which is crazy because no one clocked a red panda in Virginia, yet somehow after a bloodhound search, bamboo traps, drones, and a several-year manhunt, Sunny's still a ghost, and the reason why? Well, the prevailing theory is that she got fed up with the constant amorous advances from a male named Thomas, and eventually Andy Dufresned herself from him. It wouldn't be the last time, because in 2023 in Poland, Ponzu the red panda broke out and would scale the highest tree he could find to get away from his overly going mate Maja. In December 2015,
Damn. Look, poor animals. They're getting put together when they really don't want to. Like, there is consent in the animal kingdom. There is consent. It's just a lot of times humans don't give a shit about that consent.
in the Hangzhou Zoo, a branch broke in the panda cage under the weight of snow, and the 3 reds inside climbed it and escaped. 2 were immediately caught and returned, but the 3rd remained.
I think something like Yellowstone would be more fun than a zoo, in my opinion. I like zoos. I like going to a zoo. But then again, I'm artistic and all that, so I do enjoy kind of going to the zoos, looking at the animals, getting ideas for pictures. I've never really had the chance to really like bring a sketchbook and sit down and just kind of sketch it while watching the animals. But that does sound like something that would be really fun to do one of these days in the future. But I don't know. I like zoos. I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong. There is a lot of zoos, don't get me wrong, that do some really shady, horrible shit. But there are a lot of zoos that do a lot of humanitarian stuff for the animals as well. Like for pandas, for the red pandas, for polar bears, and all that sort of thing. Like, they do a lot of good things. But, I mean, also, to each their own. If you like Yellowstone, you like Yellowstone. If you want a zoo, go for a zoo. You want to go to a park, go to a park. It's fun. Personally, I like the zoo. Did you do / will you do Danny Thresher? Also, hi, new sub. Nice. Hey, yeah, I saw you pop up on my in my thing. Yeah, we'll be watching some Daniel Thrasher a little later today.
A fugitive for 242 days.
He's okay. They're literally built for this. Yeah.
And after 8 months of wondering where he was or if he was even still alive, he was eventually discovered in August of the next year, chilling in a tree not far from the zoo, and that's when his life on the lam came to an end. But the most famous red panda runaway was probably Rusty. Rusty the red panda was living in the Smithsonian Zoo.
He looks horrified and very concerned. Panda,
And one morning in June 2013, staff returned to the enclosure to find it short exactly one Rusty. This led to a full-on manhunt, as keepers feared that an animal that cute unsupervised in Washington, D.C. was surely kidnapped. They took it to Twitter, and Rusty broke the internet in a way you just had to be there for. It was an entire day where the
I will do anything for it, National Zoo. We are looking for a missing red panda. Last seen boozing. Sorry. Sorry, National Zoo. It's just a beautiful day out. I'm hitting the town. Some people made their own accounts. The red panda who went missing near my house is surprisingly foxy. Oh, come on.
The world was on Panda Watch. Eventually, the internet did what it does, with even politicians on opposite sides getting involved, and Rusty's day off ended when he was found in the Adams Morgan neighborhood and brought back to the zoo. And while the best guess is branches weighed down by rain is how he escaped, zoo officials still aren't 100% sure how Rusty did it, and even brought in a team of zoo experts, basically the Avengers of animal handlers, to investigate, because he wasn't going to tell them, and neither was his roommate
Nope.
Shama, who he was brought in to mate with and hopefully have kids with. Oh, this guy. If you wanted an update, Rusty continued living in DC and in 2014 was transferred to the Smithsonian Conservation Biology Institute with Shama, who he apparently warmed up to and had cubs with, until he was transferred to the Pueblo Zoo in Colorado in 2019, where he tragically and unexpectedly passed away in 2021. But
aw, buddy. Master Shifu.
not before adding to his legacy by having twins with another panda. R.I.P. Rusty. You got around in every possible way. The irony of red pandas constantly breaking out of zoos is we might not be far from a reality where zoos are the only place.
It's a little paws sticking up. I know it's really angry right now, and it's telling you, hey, let me go, or I'll put you on the obituaries. But it's so cute.
We can see them. The reason I made a big deal about the panda thing in the beginning isn't because I have beef with a bamboo bear. I've actually defended them on this channel. But while giant pandas have become the nepo babies of conservation and the face of endangered species, the giant panda has actually been off the endangered species list for about a decade.
Really?
Meanwhile, the population of red pandas is estimated to be less than 10,000, and the word estimate's doing some heavy lifting. Some experts fear the real number's closer to less than a quarter of that.
Damn. Wait. What's the panda population 2025? That's according to Google. It says that there's probably roughly around. Let's see here. Let me just check something. Approximately 2,700 giant pandas. Oh, so I mean, doesn't seem like they're off the endangered list. If these guys are estimated around 2,500 on the low end.
Red pandas still have a lot of things threatening their existence, like cheese. The mass production of local cheese popular with tourists and the ever-growing herd.
Cheese? They were taken off the endangered list in 2016, but are still listed as vulnerable. Ah, makes sense. Red pandas are listed as endangered. Okay, makes sense. But cheese?
Of livestock needed to fuel it has been a disaster for many of the red pandas living in Nepal, as a switch from forest to grasslands for grazing is like the worst form of gentrification. Pandas getting outcompeted by chori isn't the only problem. The same dogs used for herding can also end up mauling the endangered ponya. And that's on top of spreading diseases that can pack up the entire red panda.
Okay. Farmers going in and taking over red panda lands in order to, continue raising their cows. I get it.
Population, with canine distemper being one of the worst. And like I said, you can't get away with being that cute without humanity trying to traffic you. There's other threats too. Deforestation, dogs, and degeneracy from humans are the main things pushing the red panda to past tense. So now that I've surely ruined the vibe and possibly your day, what can you do? One way is, if you're going to be a tourist in Nepal, do it in a way that's sustainable and using an organization like Red Panda Network to help book eco-friendly panda-approved trips. Another way is by talking about it. The power of Yap is boundless. Spread the Red Panda propaganda. And I'm not saying they have to, but if we could get the WWF to change their logo, that'd be dope. But speaking of RPN, the easiest way would be by supporting Red Panda Network, either by donating, which I'll be doing, and if you'd like to as well, I'll leave the link in the description, or even adopting a panda, the unproblematic way. Or you could volunteer, which Now there's an idea for a video. But that's gonna do it for this video. Drink water, hug your mother, touch grass, hug your father. Never stop talking about the original panda. You have my permission to be annoying about it. And I'ma see y'all in the next one.
Yeah, and that's red pandas. So I was expecting him to go into talking about how red pandas were like an absolute menace to society and all that. No, it's literally just people who are causing them to be menaces to themselves and then getting upset about that because, you know, humans are dumb. Humans are dumb. What? Hey, did you enjoy that? Was it funny? Well, come and check it out live over at twitch.tv/freeform_art. Make sure you put the _art. We have lots of fun there. We enjoy ourselves, and we want to see you over there. So come on and hang out. See you in a bit.